It's the Pikcast.
And we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Hey,
It's been
We back.
over a year since our last Pikcast. How has everyone been?
pretty good.
All right.
Episode number 25, and we've got some cool news to go with it.
Woo! About time.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll go through,
Most news we've ever had.
yeah, well,
In recent years, in recent time.
Yeah.
Years. What am I getting?
it's a drought recovery. So I guess we'll go through and name off everybody here.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I guess we'll start with. I guess you should introduce yourself then.
I'm Nathan, aka Creative Sushi.
We'll go down Discord list.
Yeah.
So the next would be Kyle.
Hey, I'm Kyle.
That works.
That's Kyle. We've got SBO in the chat.
Oh, is that me?
I think everybody's Josh, I think everybody's list is in a different order.
Oh, is it?
Can you guys tell that we planned for this really well? SBO! We've got SBO. Say hi, SBO.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all again.
We've got
Hey,
the Sneaky Spy.
What's up, guys? My name is Korg. I'm kind of like the leader in here. I'm made of rocks, as you can see, but don't let that intimidate you. You don't need to be afraid unless you're made of scissors. Just a little rock, paper, scissors joke for you.
Is that the fourth time? Or the third?
I think that's like the fourth or third time. Third is one of them.
We've got Luther, aka Trilobite.
How you doing?
I'm here. It's been a year, but I'm back. I never left.
Just sitting here waiting.
He's been sitting in the Pikcast call for the past year, just waiting.
I've waited 13 years to feel this warm. Sorry, if anyone knows where that quote is from, I was just rewatching that a couple weeks ago. Anyways, next person.
And lastly, we have Kyle. We already did Kyle.
Yeah,
me.
All right,
But
moving on.
Kyle died 20 years ago.
We have Josh. Josh, you didn't introduce yourself.
There he is.
Mr.
So-
Kazoo Man
Boy.
himself. All right.
Anthem of our sweet handsome
Yeah,
boy.
yeah, and that's everyone who's here. Welcome to Pikcast.
I'm eating ice cream.
It's been a hot minute since we've done this, but I think we should get the most obvious thing out of the way. There's no
There's a
Wikipedia
virus that's
meetup.
ravaged the land since
Guys,
Yeah.
I'm
we all
sure
spoke.
I'm sure nobody here knows about this. Breaking news. Pikmin 3 is getting ported to the Switch
Oh,
with
I was
extra
just-
content.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Surprise.
Lois,
Be right back. I'm texting my mom.
I'm gonna have a heart attack.
I was just gonna say that there's no bingo battle this tournament this year.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was just gonna start off with that because that's kind of the most
Yeah, so
apparent
our
thing.
last Picklepedia, or the last Pikcast was also our last Picklepedia meetup.
Yeah.
Wikipedia
So
meetup.
Yeah.
The
that's
world
true.
is kind of falling apart right now.
It is.
If only we had Pikmin in real life. That could put everything back together.
Yeah,
But, yeah,
not a
so-
good time for everybody to come from like every airport in the United States to meet into one centralized location when there's a global pandemic around. So
So,
Yep.
so for those of you out there who are excited for it, sorry, but
Yeah.
the
We'll get it
next
going again.
announcement kind of I feel will make up for next year's tournament, which is Nathan.
I just said it. Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
Yeah.
Wait, Pikmin 3's getting a port?
Yes.
I'm gonna text my mom.
They're making Pikmin 3 too?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like every other Switch game where they take out like half the features and put them back in as free updates.
Wow.
But yeah, so Pikmin 3 Deluxe is out. It's
Out,
been
no, announced.
well, it says
out.
announced. Yeah. We're uploading this 2 months from now. No.
God,
it's,
Miyamoto was right all along.
it's since its initial announcement and us doing this live, there have been 2 kind of big reveals, I guess. The first one being the initial reveal, which, it was just Pikmin 3 trailer. And then the Japanese website got a huge update for that, which then just kind of showed off a lot more content. So just an FYI for those in the future kind of wondering chronologically where this is, it's been 3 weeks since the initial announcement.
About 2 or 3.
Yeah, so, which honestly, we initially planned to do this a little bit sooner, but we couldn't do it. And then they just updated the Japanese website, and it's like, okay, well,
We need
that
to get
kind
on
of
this.
saved a little bit of time.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was really confused for a second. I'm looking through the list here of just like our notes that we wrote down, and they're written in all capitals. So I was really confused by the term "quicker Captain Switch." I was like, "Who the hell is Captain Switch, and why is he faster in this game?"
It's the mascot.
He's like the
It's
new
the
Captain
Switch.
N.
Captain Switch. He's faster in this one. He wasn't even in the first one. Exactly. He's faster because he wasn't moving at all last time.
All right. So we're just gonna do kind of things a little bit differently. We're just gonna do a quick rundown of everything that we know. Then we'll go into a bit of detail of how, what our thoughts are of it. I know that Nathan and Luther especially have some very strong words to say about a couple things,
I wouldn't
which
say that, but okay.
which is why we're gonna be having more than likely a 4.5 hour long Pikcast today. No, I'm just kidding. But let's just go down. So the big thing we'll just talk about is the new features that have been added to Pikmin 3 Deluxe. In terms of gameplay, they've announced multiple difficulties. We don't have any specific details on what those are. They're just that's been announced.
we know at
Local
least
co-op-
that there's going to be an easier mode.
Yeah. There's local co-op story, which for those of us like me who don't have any friends who play Pikmin in like a literal 400-mile radius, doesn't mean a whole lot. But for people that can obviously change things, it could also open up a lot more venues just down the road with like speed running.
And it now
There-
means that the entire game can be played with 2 players.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I'm pretty
assumed
sure-
that but-
Assumed, yeah. I don't
Right,
know
but
if
it's
like every part in story has co-op. It's
Yeah.
curious as to what will happen during the events.
my guess
Yeah.
is that you don't unlock it until you meet up with Brittany,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you have like the events like where Brittany's stuck in the cave during like the tutorial, the yellow Pikmin and stuff like that.
We have, and again, this is a thing that they have talked about that we really don't know anything about, is rebalanced enemies. So they've said they're rebalancing enemies. Who knows really what that means?
I think what it means. Okay,
Luther, we have a new system. We're going to talk
Oh,
about it
right.
in detail after we
Right.
do it.
you're right. You're right.
So we have rebalanced enemies. There's the new hint system, which, again, that's something that we don't really know much about.
We know
We've
that
seen-
there's pathfinding. Like
Yeah,
it points
there's
you in the
pathfinding.
direction you need to go to proceed with the story.
but we don't really know past that. There's a quicker captain switch, which is one of the videos that was shown off on the Japanese website. was showing how you basically can open up a menu and switch captains, which can be a lot faster than just minus, minus, minus. This one we've kind of been debating about just in Wikipedia exactly. There's a possibility that there's more GameCube-like movement, but we really don't have enough info to say that. It's just that 2 of the videos that we saw had different motion with the cursor and the captain compared to like base Pikmin 3, but that's like 2 videos out of like 300. So it's not really a whole lot of basis to go off of. It's also not the fact that I forgot to remove that from the script, but that's just something that I feel we'll probably be talking about anyway. There's a new mini map on screen, similar to how Breath of the Wild mini map works.
First mini map in the Pikmin series.
Yeah, and it does look really
First
nice.
overlaid mini map. It's really nice.
Yeah. There's the said map also includes like special UI and everything to show where important goals are, like the cell phones and all of that. One thing that's kind of a bigger kind of interesting thing is that all walls, so dirt walls, glass walls, electric walls, we haven't seen anything with the bamboo gates, have unique variations to each of them. So if you're in the Garden of Hope, there won't be 2 dirt walls that look exactly the same. And
I can
From what we've seen so far.
what we've seen so far.
I can show pictures of this.
Yeah, we can show. Well, we can go into a little bit more detail in a bit too with them.
Yeah, just keep talking. I'll put them on the screen.
Yeah, slight area changes, not really anything drastic. Some people have pointed out that fruit has been moved a little bit. But the big thing that we saw was that there was egg placement that was changed in one of the areas. Like there's new eggs
There's
that have
also
been added.
There's also certain areas of certain maps where the geometry is entirely different.
So yeah, there's just been some changes, and then one thing that we've brought up that's kind of like we really don't know what to make of it is that the American website, I don't know if it's the same for the European website, but the option of online play has been like added and removed like every other day. So it'll be like, oh, it's Tuesday. Guess what? Pikmin 3 Deluxe is going to have online. And then, hey, guys, it's Wednesday. Pikmin 3 Deluxe doesn't have online play. So that's just been something that's been consistently changing. The Japanese website doesn't have that. Like, it's been consistent that it's just for like online storage of your save. And like, I've seen somewhere say that I think it was like the rankings would require it, but again, it's been something that's just so flip-floppity, we really don't know.
Maybe it'll just be like that when the game releases. Some days it'll have online, other days it won't.
It's like Salmon Run.
One of the bigger changes that we'll probably be going into a lot more depth of is completely reworked Pikmin management, like complete overhaul with almost everything with Pikmin management, which I definitely would like to talk about, including things like revamping the charge, and that kind of goes in hands with the reworked lock-on feature, which just seems to be less intrusive with gameplay, which is just nice to have. But that's kind of all for the new like features that don't directly affect like, oh, that makes it a deluxe. It's kind of like almost like a big update to things. In terms of content, the big thing we're all excited for is the return of Piclopedia from Pikmin 2.
That's like the one thing that I never thought was going to happen.
Yeah, that's kind of just crazy to see. And we also know that it has 5 sets of notes for Alf, Brittany, Charlie, Al, and Louie.
Yeah, each entry. Dude, and that means that creatures that have appeared in every game, including Hey Pikmin, have 8 entries.
Yeah.
9 technically if you include like those notes that appear sometimes at the end of the day in Pikmin 1.
Yeah, so there's
Are we
just
counting
a lot.
Smash Bros. Trophy descriptions?
No, Kevin, Smash Bros. Trophy descriptions do not count towards Pikmin lore.
Lifts up his hands. Animal
Might-
Crossing hat descriptions don't count either.
Another thing that I'm really excited for is achievements are being added, which is like
I know.
really, yeah, that's something. And again, I know I was like, oh, we have a set for. That's
No.
just something I real quick want to say is like, that's something that has never really happened for the most part for like first party Nintendo games. Like,
And
you
not
Sure.
could be
only
like,
that, but like in Pikmin of all games,
yeah, like you could be
like
like,
I was expecting like maybe like Mario Odyssey or something.
yeah, like you could say like, oh, the past, 3 Paper Mario games have had that, but that's made by Intelligent System. You could be like, oh, Kirby Air I made it, but it's like that was
Yeah,
how
like
that did that.
yeah, like a Nintendo E80 like straight from the chopping block game usually don't have that. God, just
Achievement.
like
So
yeah, just like imagine going back like a month in the past and just like talking to ourselves in the past, and we're gonna be like, oh yeah, so not only is Pikmin 3 Deluxe coming out, it's literally like no matter how see that's exactly why I think this is such a good port, because if you list if you were to list all the things that we're actually getting in like a fake leak format and show it to somebody who doesn't know, they would probably assume it's a fake leak.
yeah, like it's
Because like there's so many
weird,
things that sound too good to be true.
but
Okay,
yeah.
Could-
I'm yawning.
Could you please
Sorry,
not
I
loudly
yawned.
yawn?
That's just how I yawn. I
We're
can't.
just gonna hear
control
we're
the
just gonna hear
volume.
quiet yawns now.
I'll
Um,
I'll die if I like can't yawn.
Um, so there's an achievement system, and then the other big thing that's coming is there's now side stories being included with, and what we know is that it's basically have confirmed that they're going to star Olimar and Louis, and the first one is a prequel called Olimar's Assignment, and then there's an unnamed one that's supposed to be an epilogue. And then just some miscellaneous information, just because it does kind of, add some cool things. It does include all the Pikmin 3 Challenge Mode DLC. The game is 6.5 gigabytes as opposed to Pikmin 3 on the
Oh,
Wii U, which was only
oh,
3
Yeah,
gigabytes.
we're gonna be
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about that later for sure.
Yeah, that's a big thing we're gonna need to talk about because there's actually a lot of implications to that.
One thing is that purples and whites are actually being advertised as part of the game. They're still exclusive to Bingo Battle and Mission Mode, but on the Japanese website, they do
Well-
have blurbs that do talk about purple and white.
Do
Pikmin.
we know that they're exclusive and
Yes.
they're not potentially in the
No,
new
it's
epilogue?
on the
and, like-
Japanese website. It specifically states that they are Bingo Battle Mission Mode exclusive.
Interesting.
Yeah. They're, if you go to the Japanese website, they're the red little seals that are on their little info cards.
Mm-hmm.
So they are confirmed to be Bingo Battle Mission Mode exclusive. And then finally, the release date is October 30th of
Yes, and
this
if
year,
any-
so 2 months
Yeah,
away.
and if anyone is curious, like it sounds like a placeholder date. No, that's the actual release date.
Yeah, that's the actual release date. It comes out on if you want to learn a fun fact, Hollow's Adam, the day before Hollow's Eve, aka Halloween. Just thought I'd like to show my
Not wrong.
2009 DeviantArt knowledge. No, but that's just, it comes out October 30th. So as of today, it is 2 months away. So
Yep.
So there's
Pretty
that.
close.
So since we've got all of the kind of general things, I don't think I've missed anything. I don't know. Let's see what
Okay, the first and foremost thing, because I think that it's something that a lot of people need to know that I don't think a lot of people are aware of, is like what Nathan was talking about with like the double size.
hmm.
Because okay, like basically the general consensus is like we were looking at the file size for games that have previously first launched on Wii U initially and then were like ported to the Switch, and a lot of them you can see that the file size overall like isn't really changed that much. And when it is, you can see why. Like for example, like in games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, how you could see how it was a little bit bigger, and it's because overall it wasn't changed, but they did add like the what do you call it, battle mode, and so like so it changed a little bit. But then there's ones like Mario, what do you call it, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, where not a lot was changed at all, and so like the file size is almost, I think it's almost exactly the same.
It was 0.1 gigabytes larger,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is nothing.
Yeah, so and another thing that a lot of people don't know is that when it comes to a game's file size, a large majority there's two contributing factors that contribute a lot to file size, and that's audio clips and textures, and so a large portion of that is probably going to be new content since it doesn't look like the textures of the game have really been changed all that much. If anything, there might be a resolution bump, but like it doesn't look like a lot of the textures have changed.
It
Like,
doesn't
they're
look like the
like-
resolution has changed much either. I saw some people doing an analysis on it, and they
Yeah, although I did see people also say that the problem with that was that the trailers were uploaded in 720p instead of
it's true.
the 1080p.
Yeah.
So so when it comes to resolution, everyone's kind of like, we don't know, because even if you were to do like frame analysis, there really isn't a whole lot to go off of for that. So a lot of
Yeah.
people are kind of just holding back on like, oh, the resolution has been upscaled or anything like that until the game comes out or they officially announce it, just because it's like relying on YouTube video quality to see game quality is.
So,
Yeah.
to answer Night Owl's question in the comments, the file size is higher because of the DLC. The DLC is 0.5 gigabytes, and Pikmin 3 is 3 gigabytes. So, with the DLC, Pikmin 3 Deluxe would be 3.5 gigabytes if there wasn't added content.
But there's 6.5.
But
right?
there's 6.5, so there's still 3 gigabytes more, almost double what
Yeah,
it would
like-
be.
almost double what we received in the last game.
I
Yes.
also like entertaining the idea that they could put the Pikmin shorts on there.
Yes, in fact,
That
there's
would-
something to back that up.
Yeah.
Recently, Nintendo copyrighted the one. I think there's a few more, but the popular upload of all the Pikmin shorts on YouTube had been up for 3 years, and they just recently, like yesterday or the day before, took that down to copyright. So it's
Yeah.
very possible that
Although-
could be why.
Yeah, although it's also worth noting that there's also a possibility that the reason for that is just because like they're registering the Pikmin patent and
It's
have
possible
to,
as well,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
enact
Or
those
there's
things
like
for that.
music in there that's like copyrighted.
But
or
that would
something.
definitely explain the file size difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, anything
Okay.
else to talk about that, or we got that one out of the way? Just
No, I think let's move on to the gameplay stuff.
all right. So, first thing with gameplay, multiple difficulties. We kind of already started talking about it. There's for sure going to be an easy mode. Do you guys think there's going to be like a hard mode or something?
I hope so.
I hope there's a hard mode.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that there's a hard mode, just because.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Considering
Okay,
how
I really hope so, and this is what I was going to talk about. Like, but then like Nathan was like, "Hang on, wait, save it for the Pikcast." I was listening to this one video. I'll try to link it if I can find it again, but I don't remember the name of the person that made it. But they were talking about it, and they said that unfortunately, I think that a lot of people that saw the newer difficulties, like I think they saw that and like looked at it through like the eyes of a Pikmin fan like us, and they're like, "Oh, finally, like they're giving us something harder." But in reality, this is Nintendo we're talking about, and I think what the actual implication is that there's just easier difficulties, but there's no difficulty that's harder than what we've already had. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but I think that the general consensus wasn't that there was an option to make the game harder than it already is, just easier.
Yeah, like we're kind of all just like, oh man, that'd be sweet if there was a harder mode, but then it's just like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably an easy mode.
probably just
Yeah.
easy mode,
Just
which kinda
because-
sucks because I feel like even the base game of Pikmin 3 was already pretty hand-holdy with how
it was very hand-holdy.
told you everything. So
Pikmin does.
We can look at how Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition does it. I mean, if we look at it, then yeah, it's just easier modes.
I mean,
But
Nintendo
maybe you can
really-
kind of say that, hey, there's that time trial thing for the hardcore fans, I guess. But for the most part, it's just going to be easier difficulties.
Yeah. Also, just looking at other ports too, the other ports have basically only added an easy mode. Like there's the steer assisting in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's the funky new game mode in Tropical Freeze, and then wasn't it the same thing with Toadette?
Oh, I believe you're
in-
thinking of Nabbit.
Yeah, New Super
no,
Mario
no,
Bros. U literally makes it
Yeah.
like you play
Well,
a
no,
character
'cause-
that can't die.
Nabbit is in New Super Luigi U. That's not new to.
Oh,
yeah.
so that crown thingamajig.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought the crown thingy was a thing that made it easier in that, because Nabbit isn't
I think
isn't
it's just
new.
an ability. I don't think it really makes the game easier. Although I don't know, I never played it, so I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, so we're kind of all just, man, we wish it was harder.
no,
Although,
the hard stuff that they're gonna add is gonna be the achievements. You're gonna get the ridiculous achievements of like take down the Quaggled Myroclops with only one winged Pikmin.
Let's go.
Okay, no, I wonder if there's a way to calculate how long that would actually take to do, because like, okay, the bosses retain their health for one in-game day. So would it be possible if you like, like we gotta use a tool assisted speedrun to get to the Microsoft as fast as possible for the single, like throw the 10 rock Pikmin required to break the bulb open, and then just one wing for the rest of it. Let's go.
Or use a spicy spray, which turns the wings into monsters.
Yeah.
Oh damn, you're right.
Easy. Nintendo.
GG. But yeah, that's kind of what we got for multiple difficulties. Next thing.
Before we move on, Yellow Pikmin Productions said in the comments that what could be potentially in is the captain's logs that were in video form that you had to go online to see later.
Oh yeah,
They could be putting that into the game rather than the Pikmin shorts, which would, and if they're pre-recorded videos, would definitely add to it.
That
Yeah, that
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's what I was kind of thinking too, because I was going back and like reading the transcripts of just like Olimar's actual like logs that he leaves behind on the surface of the planet, and his his video logs and talking about stuff, and it kind of gave me an idea of what the prequels would be. Oh, is that Luther having connection issues?
RTC. Oh yeah,
Oh.
baby.
So it's so like kind of the whole log, like I would say like halfway through the Olimar and Louis' journey is when the Copites crash land, because then from then on Olimar is kind of just following the Copites around and like following traces of them. Like Olimar finds Louis' crash spot, and so then he's like, oh, that means that there's other people here. I left my anti-electrifier on here. And then later on he talks about how he wishes he kept the anti-electrifier. So there's definitely like the prologue is probably going to be, you know, Olimar lands. I think people were saying that it's possibly like a crash landing or close to it, because Olimar talks about how he hates the ship. And but it kind of depends if it's European or American, if it's because the ship yells at him or because the ship is an insult to his piloting. And then kind of just a progression of that point with, you know, Olimar kind of basically having his own adventure as the Copites are doing theirs until he gets captured. But
Oh, spoilers.
Really quickly, I want to address Onion the Geek asked thoughts on the sales of the game, and I can guarantee you already it's going to do way better than Pikmin 3 on Wii U, solely because the Switch has so many more units sold than the Wii U ever did.
Yeah, like literally.
When the trailer dropped for Pikmin 3 Deluxe,
Oh yeah, that's a good
in
point.
the first day, it already reached 1 million views, and in the last 7 years that or 8 years that the Pikmin 3 for Wii U trailer has been up, it only has 1 million views as well.
And it only hit 1 million after the other trailer came out.
yeah,
And
so
honestly, I think a piece of the reason for that is because like this new trailer like doesn't really show a lot for people that like haven't played Pikmin 3 yet.
Which was definitely intentional.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we'll just make them go back and watch the other one.
Free
So-
revenue.
but
right.
so moving on.
Moving on. Oh god, local co-op story. I am so happy for that.
See,
Absolutely.
I'm happy too, but at the same time I'm sad because like my time like being able to do that stuff is like long gone. Like my sister moved away, my girlfriend isn't interested in Pikmin, like and like my cousin plays Pikmin, but he like I barely see him. It's sad because this is something I dreamed about when I was a kid, and just knowing that like the opportunity for me to fully enjoy it like is gone. Like, dude, I would have when I was a kid, I would have killed to have. God, okay, no, like I say this all the time, but like I am so jealous of the kids that are like going to school in today's gaming era, and they'll have the Switch. They literally have like a console like powerful as a home console like in their hands, and now they're gonna get to play Pikmin on the go. They already have Smash Bros and an entire open world Zelda game, Skyrim, Witcher, like all this stuff. is stuff
Minecraft.
that yeah, like literally all these games is and it's just crazy. Like God, just and another thing that's crazy to think about is just the amount of people that literally didn't exist like when the first two Pikmin games came out, and
No,
like this is their first Pikmin
No,
experience.
no, you have no idea. It's weird to say that Pikmin 3 Deluxe. There will be kids playing Pikmin 3 Deluxe as their first Pikmin game.
And weren't
Who are
even
the
alive
same-
or born.
No. Who are the same age that I was when I first played Pikmin 1.
Oh,
You're
Yeah,
gonna
no.
be
and,
the
and like,
old
and
man.
they might have not even been born when the first Pikmin 3 came out, because that was already 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Hey,
What
I mean,
happened
that-
to us,
Jeez.
Double D? We look like turkeys.
I mean-
Whips his neck waddle around his head.
Hey, next meetup we could do co-op.
Yeah, maybe
Oh,
we
hell
can
yeah.
do like I'd love to do a local story co-op. Like,
Oh my
stream.
god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I got it! Okay, we need to see if there's a way we can do split screen, and we have to have like an 8-player speed run where like
Ooh.
4 teams
Oh
of 2
man,
like race to beat the game first.
that would be
God.
fun.
or something. That would be super fun. You know what? There's also probably. Oh, never mind. Damn it. I was like, you know what? There's probably a way that we could, in the future, use this to turn use the editing stuff to make like our own like little mini game. And I was like, oh wait, but no, that's for the Wii U. We'd have to wait until we can successfully reverse engineer the Wii U before we can do
You mean
stuff
Switch?
like that. Yeah, sorry, the Switch.
Yeah. So one big thing that I'm wondering with co-op that I don't know if it's been shown at all or anything is with puzzles that involve throwing 2 captains. How are you going to throw your partner?
So, are you talking
Oh.
about like the puzzle where you need all 3 captains to get to the Sam Belching Mearslug?
Stuff like that, yeah. Like
Okay,
where you have to throw
so-
2 captains and then switch to the 1 captain
Oh,
and then
yeah,
throw that last captain.
that's easy. All you have to do is switch to the other captain, and then so that the other captain becomes inactive and throw it. That's how you do it when you have to throw captains in 2-player in mission mode.
Yeah, you basically just share the 3rd captain, and it's whoever
Yeah.
switches to that captain first.
What about
yeah,
when
well,
Brittany's discovered?
What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you do?
You
for
need to
what do
get the
you do for
lemon.
very first
There's a
day.
small tutorial.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
okay, well, I'm pretty sure that the whole Britney thing. I'm pretty sure that like once you finish that little tutorial right there where you throw the Pikmin onto the lemon, I think that's when you're gonna get some kind of notification in game, and it's gonna be like, from here on out, you can now partake in the story with multiple players. Like
yeah,
I think that right there is when like the co-op unlocks for the main story.
and or
That makes sense.
if it was going to be a case of the Pikmin, or it's like it's 2-player the entire time, they could easily just do something like oh, there's a second red Alf that's player 2 that gets replaced with Brittany. That's just kind of
And for the lemon cutscene, what they're gonna do
Ralph.
is they're gonna be like, check the. Is this gonna be Alf going like, Brittany, check this out? And he just lawn jumps to the lemon.
Why do I just imagine?
Hey,
for
check
some-
how hard I can jump.
No, for some reason in my brain, like the first thing I imagined when you said that, Josh, was I just imagine like he just pulls out an ocarina and plays the Elegy of Emptiness from Majora's Mask, and just makes like this creepy ass looking elf statue that just like stands in place.
yeah. Hyper realistic, just disgusted face, and it just has no animation, just slides.
Man, they really went for a bold direction in the video.
yeah. But yeah, so that's. Anyone else got anything for co-op?
Well, I guess this would be a good tie-in to online.
Oh yeah, if they were to have
Yeah, a lot of
For-
people are excited because they think we're getting online.
online
and we might.
play.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's unlikely we're going to get online, but
Yeah, I don't think that we're gonna get it online like at all. Like the second I saw the online there at all, like my natural assumption was, oh, because of the leaderboards, because it was already like that in Pikmin 3 on
my
the Wii U.
my whole thing was that as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, for online storage, because they say that,
Oh, that
for
too,
any
yeah.
game that has online storage. Like it's not. I think like for Animal Crossing, it'll say like there's online play, but not for cloud storage. I think it's the only exception to that where there's online play but no cloud storage. But I think it's really just for cloud storage, because, or not even just leaderboards, because you had like Odyssey where the Balloon Luigi minigame had online leaderboards, but you didn't need
Switch
Switch
Online.
Online to use the leaderboard. So it's one of those things that's up in the air because they're not really talking about it. Because again, it's not really an important.
yeah, I feel like it's because why would they hide that?
Yeah.
Why would they hide that? Why would they not bring that out and say at the beginning, oh yeah, also online play? That's a big deal, That would be on the back of the box. And we
Yeah.
have the back
Well-
of the box.
Well, you have to remember at the same time it's a big deal to us, but Nintendo doesn't really seem to care that much about online, so it also wouldn't like surprise me at all
No,
if they were like, "Oh
I
yeah, oh
don't
yeah,
think
there's
so.
online."
That's a selling
That and
point.
I would say too that like because like it's a single player game, so online multiplayer isn't something you advertise for a single player game. I think
Yeah,
just
yeah, that's fair.
because like I mean imagine how like with Breath of the Wild, right? Like we were when Breath of the Wild came out, we were all here like we were trying to like redirect like each other like it was a world war like communications just like all right, I'm gonna go take the south route, we're gonna go and I'm investigating the jungle, what are you doing over here, Luther? Oh, I'm over here, I'm gonna go and investigate the Zora's domain. Okay, and it's,
Where we
you know, and
dropping
we
boys?
yeah, we would be splitting up to discover what's there. But
Yeah.
like if we were there in person doing that, I feel it really wouldn't change much because we would because
I
it would be
mean,
like
okay, I do
oh,
think I do think that it's an experience that would change a lot for people that are new to the Pikmin and have never played
yeah.
the game before. And I do think that at the very least it's still something that would be fun to see in the future because it would effectively be exactly the same as like the multiplayer co-op they have now, except you can do it with your friend that doesn't live next door to you. You can do it with your friend that lives over in the next state.
Mhm.
And like yeah, and that's I think that's all that people want. But yeah, but
Yeah.
like realistically, that would just be like super cool though. Like if you could, maybe not in this one, but maybe someday in a future Pikmin game. Okay, here's another thing. I think like because like the whole I already said it before, but I'm gonna say it again. The whole multiplayer like the story mode is something that I never like anticipated at all. Like I was surprised that I was pleasantly surprised by that we got the Piclopedia back because that was something I really wanted, but always thought like it was just like a pipe dream. But then when I saw that there was like a story co-op, instead of being like pleasantly surprised, I was more like shocked because like that was something that I always thought would be cool, but didn't bother ever thinking that I wanted because I didn't think it would ever actually happen. And so like just seeing that it's there, I'm like, dude, like this is literally like okay, well for reasons that I'm pretty sure Nathan and I are gonna go over later. I would say this is almost the definitive Pikmin experience.
What? No, I don't agree with that.
Oh,
Oh boy.
But what was it? But yeah, so online play, I feel like we can kind of agree that
Yeah,
it's
probably
not going to happen. It's more or less that
maybe in a future game, but not
yeah, in a
before.
future game, like that'll be our hopeful pipe dream in Pikmin 4. I feel that's a safe dream we can like bring back up like 10 years from now.
That's our pipe dream. Pikmin 4, not Pikmin 4 itself being a
No,
pipe dream.
just we're gonna announce Pikmin 4 multiplayer before Pikmin 4 gets announced. So, but I think we can move on from there.
Mhm.
So next one, which we kind of already talked about, was rebalanced enemies,
I'm
which we don't
interested
know
in this 'cause-
anything about.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know nothing about this.
Okay, I actually have something small I can insert here if you guys have nothing else.
I have nothing.
I mean, what my hope is that they say rebalance enemies, but that's just the guise for rebalancing everything, or almost everything, like rebalancing Pikmin types. So like wings aren't immune to crushing, wings don't absolutely obliterate everything that they touch. Really just nerfing wings and then also removing the scripted parts of fights, like with the Scornet Maestro, where it's you have to go through his cycle at least 4 times before you can kill him. Like removing scriptability from fights, also removing a lot of cheesing strategies, like being able to obliterate the armored Maudad using the tip of his tail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So
Um,
basically, kind of just removing the cheesing from just as a whole, but also then rebalancing so that winged Pikmin
And also
don't basically Thanos snap everything.
out of bounds glitches.
Yeah,
Hopefully they
out-of-bounds
fix some of the out of
glitches.
bounds. They found a new one. We need to talk about that, I guess.
Oh yeah, we could talk about that later.
no, that one that you posted, Josh, where it's like Charlie goes in himself and he's like, "I'm so glad to see you,
I
Al."
was about to say that the Charlie Descent
Yeah,
run.
that one.
Oh, that
No,
cracked me up
the
so
thing
much.
that's okay, just not to divert too far, but like I was saw like discussions because I in Pickcord, the Pikmin Discord, everyone should join. They were the guy who posted that video was talking about like what that glitch does, because when you go to because then you literally unlock all 3 captains like right then and there by day 2. but it causes really weird glitches in the Garden of Hope where you can only use touchscreen controls to go through everything. And if
Wait, I
you
thought you were joking when you said that.
no, you'd for like literally,
That's
I like the
amazing.
yeah, like you could only use touchscreen controls,
What?
and then
I thought he was joking too.
and then what was it? I think it was like if someone
amazing.
dies, they like their body ends up at Britney's spot or something like that. Like it literally like secret
It
break.
sounds like a creepypasta. If you die in real life, do you replace Britney in Pikmin 3?
But it, like I don't remember the exact specifics because I just kind of was just like going through like, oh, that's pretty cool, and I watched the video and thought it was funny. But it's like a huge sequence breaking thing because you get Brittany and Charlie by the time you touch ground in the Garden of Hope.
It's
So
ridiculous.
like yeah, it's so weird, and it's like
I haven't seen a sequence break like that since Twilight Princess.
so. Who knows? Maybe something crazy will be discovered with it. I don't know. Maybe we're lucky enough that the person who did that video is watching or is friends with someone here who's watching and can talk about it because that's something that's just I want to know more about that kind of thing. Just Charlie saving Charlie.
Yeah, I kind of want to go do it.
When your ego is so big that you gotta save yourself.
Trust nobody, only yourself.
I posted
But-
the link in the chat for people to view
Yeah.
at a later date.
Just going back to rebalance enemies, hopefully it just means less cheese.
Actually, well, I still have the small thing I want.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there was somebody that I've been in contact with that is like, that he's like kind of like going through everything like like just hyper scrutinizing everything, and he pointed out something here. It looks like at least one of the bits of footage. This goes into the whole enemy balance thing. One of the bits of footage showcases the game playing in an easier difficulty, and the reason you can tell that is because if you look at the footage, I don't remember which. I'll look for the video real quick and I'll put it in the chat. If
Is
I
it
can find it.
the fly? Is it the flighty joustmite?
No. It's the. It's the one with where they're fighting the hermit. No, not the
The
bug-eyed
bug-eyed?
Cromed.
Oh.
No, not the bug-eyed Cromed. Sorry, it's the the puffy blowhog. It's the one where they're fighting the puffy blowhog in the Twilight River. I don't remember. I didn't see it for myself, but he was telling me about how he like counted the amount of times that it took for the Pikmin to hit it to kill it, and it looks like it has overall less HP, and also the whistle expands bigger, like a lot faster than it does in like the original Pikmin 3, and so he thinks that this might be an example of like an easier difficulty, and that might be like what it means when it says like enemy rebalancing, that like the enemy health scales during in different difficulties of the game.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like a lot of us are hoping for harder difficulty too, just because
Yeah,
if
just make
like
the enemy have like twice as much health
or
instantly.
something like that.
I posted a Puffy Blowhog video on the channel, on the chat even.
Yeah.
And
That would just be really cool.
yeah, so but yeah, I think that's kind of everything for.
Oh, hang on, that does kind of segue into
Oh.
something I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Even in vanilla Pikmin 3 for Wii U, we know that the mission modes, and heck, even some stages in regular story mode, I hope I'm not saying a lie, we do know there is some sort of enemy balancing going on. For instance, in the forest, that's not Fortress of
Garden of Hope?
Festivity, that's the one.
No.
No, Fortress of Festivity, sorry. The Crawmed there on the pizza actually has less health than the ones in story mode. And that's just one example in the middle of quite a lot. So that gets me to thinking, maybe that's not what they mean when they are talking about rebalancing the enemies, because they are already familiar with the concept of tweaking the HP. So there's nothing particularly special for them. The engine already supports that, and they're already used to doing that. So if they really aren't going out of their way to mention that there's some sort of special balancing, then it must be something else besides just tweaking HP. It is interesting that the Puffy Blowhog in that video has less HP, but that's probably not it.
It could
that's probably
also
more-
be just demo footage, like, oh yeah, the Pikmin can actually, beat enemies pretty
Okay,
hard, kind of thing.
Hang on.
'cause-
Okay. Does anyone remember Oh, speaking of the puffy blowhog footage, I noticed, like, did they change the like graphical effect of like when it blows wind? Because like now it has like
They
little like
definitely
visible
did.
waves.
Yeah, they did. They
Yeah,
did.
I noticed that. I wonder if that's like a visual indicator because like you see like it makes like a quick little like 4 waves on the floor. I wonder if like each wave is like the game like rolls and there's a chance that the Pikmin will actually get like will fall back or resist the blow or something. Because
Maybe.
yeah, stuff like that. But that would be really interesting. I really like the amount of like little things they changed in this game. Like
Mhm.
because like when I saw the new area of the Twilight River that's all like grassy now, I was like, oh, they made this area like alive and not like autumn.
Mhm. But okay, before we move on to that, is anyone else got anything to say
Yes,
about the
I just
rebound?
wanted to say,
Oh,
in reference to kind of with difficulty and whatever, I, somebody mentioned something that made me think of like one cool thing that they could do to for like a difficult mode or whatever is the amount of captains that you have is how many containers of fruit you go through a day. So like if you have one captain at the beginning, it's one container of fruit. When you get Brittany, then it's two, and then when you have all three, you have 3 containers of fruit. So you have to actually really collect fruit for the
That
next
would
day.
that would be cool, but at the same time, I'm not sure because I feel like that would rapidly decrease the amount of maximum days that you can play the game at all. Because like the game was specifically designed so that if you collect all fruits, you have a
Yeah,
total of
99,
99 days. But if now there would be a maximum of only what 33 days.
33.
Well, once you get all 3 captains.
Hmm.
and
Well,
if they
again,
were to
that'd be
do
hard
some,
mode.
yeah, that could be like a hard mode difficult.
Yeah.
And then there's also, I've heard some people say, well, when you get Louis, it's then 4 cups of juice a day, or something
Oh
like
dang,
that.
Yeah.
So
that would
it
be
could
crazy.
definitely, yeah, it could definitely just be like, okay, let's go, let's go. And definitely it could bring certain moments up, like for example, when like Alf goes to save Brittany, for example, you would then only have 2 cups of juice instead of 3, and then when you get Brittany, you would have no juice left. So then the next day you would have to get juice. Or when Louis goes and steals all the food rations and you only have 3 bottles of juice, then it's you have one day to get basically more juice or something like that. It would definitely add a lot more of peril for sure, especially when Louis steals all the food. That would be like, okay.
He stole all the food. He stole all the food.
So, but all right, is that fourth time's the charm? Is that everything for rebalance enemies? Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. I can't think of anything else. I mean, the only other thing I could really see to rebalancing enemies is maybe they changed up something about the boss fights, maybe. Like, but aside from that, that's really all I can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next thing then is the new hint system, which we really don't know much about it outside of that it exists and it has something that shows up in the game's UI, but
Hmm.
there isn't a whole lot of info that shows off the hint system. Like a lot
Well,
of people are like,
something to say. There's going to be a whole rebalancing, I believe, of the notes that you found around the game because we have the Picklepedia, so we don't need the notes that tell us about enemies anymore per se. We have, I'm sure they're getting rid of the secret number logs and replace for maybe something to find a video or something. I feel like that would be a weird thing to keep over where you have to go online to put the codes in. I don't think they're going to do that
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, honestly, what I think is going to happen now is you just collect the numbers, and there will be like some like a screen where you enter the code, and it just gives you the video.
Yeah, something like that.
It could be something too where like it could be like how Louis' Dark Secret was like a secret video or something. Like
Yeah.
it could
Yeah.
be like there's opening cutscene, closing cutscene. Maybe we'll be blessed enough to get something for the prologue or epilogue that shows up, and then if it's true, the Pikmin shorts, are added there, and then maybe there's something that's like Louis' Dark Secret, where it's Louis talking about how he stole the food from the Copites and that the treasure on the planet smells delicious when he gets nabbed by the Meyerclops.
Yeah, and see another thing that's interesting. Okay, I actually have another theory about like how that could play out, and it might go into a little bit of in depth. So like, if anyone else wants to talk first.
Let's finish up the hint system. If does anyone else have anything
Yeah.
to say about the hint system, like, I mean, like it's probably
Pathfinding.
tied to easy mode.
got-
Oh yeah, there's the pathfinding. So,
We actually saw that in a screenshot, I believe. Like you see like the blue arrows on the floor.
mhm.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, like, okay, I'm watching this footage again of the puffy blowhog, and yeah, you can definitely tell just how massive, like, the size of the
The
whistle
wind is.
is.
Oh
No, no,
yeah.
no, the whistle, like, it opens up like huge, and like it opens up like in a second.
Yeah. All right. So if that's it for the hint system, this one here, which I guess we could kind of tie into the reworked Pikmin management when we get to that section, but just the quicker captain switch, which is opening up the menu to allow you to switch between either the whistle and then Alf, Brittany, and Charlie.
And
With
it's nice because you get to choose between the two captains. You don't have to cycle through them.
Yes. And
that's
I think
something that's nice.
something else kind of related to this that we didn't put in here is the new charge mechanic.
Oh, well, that's part of the Pikmin management. That's what I had
Oh.
intended to be, because I feel just that whole thing with how Pikmin are managed.
Well,
now can be,
I feel like quicker captain movement also has to do with that too, because that has become a lot quicker. And so,
yeah.
and it's also, I'll go ahead and say it, it's gotten a change where instead of throwing all of your Pikmin through a charge, it only sends whatever your Pikmin selected is at the moment. And so because of that,
See,
you
and
need,
I
you need,
kind of like that.
it is good. It's super useful. But because of that, you now need to be able to make use of that. Like if you want to throw all your reds on something, you want to be able to do something quicker with your blues or something, for example. So they need to slow down. They've pretty much slowed down, I think, all of those delays. Like, because if you remember during the charge, it takes a while before you can control your leader again after you charge. And if you look at the video, they slowed that down as well. Or they sped that up, I should say.
Yeah, so I guess we can also just tie this into just the Pikmin management with, just I don't know if everyone has seen that footage of, I think it's in the Tropical Wilds, where Alf, Brittany, and Charlie are split up. Alf throws Brittany throws all the reds to Alf, who's the other captain, and then all the I've heard conflicting people say oh, it is or it isn't. Those Pikmin immediately are just picked. Alf immediately is just they're picked up by Alf. They join his party when they're throwing him, which is already okay, that's pretty good. And then going through the path and everything, where Alf then disbands all the reds to attack the wall, and then immediately just goes into the water with the blues to go do something, just that quick, just bam, bam, bam of just the Pikmin by just. You no longer then have to just sit there and then wait to go, okay, here we go, my rock Pikmin, throw, and I accidentally threw a yellow Pikmin because I was spamming the A button too quickly, or if it's something you're dealing with fire and it's oh, I accidentally threw a blue Pikmin and now they're on fire, I have to whistle, oh, I just whistled back 7 reds by accident. It definitely just seems to be so good. I don't think there's any way if there's somebody who looks at that and says that that's bad, I'm what's wrong with you?
Yeah, it looks really good. I think the main gripe. Wait, are we talking about controls now?
No. We're talking about the Pikmin management. The controls we'll save for the end of gameplay, because I know that you and Nathan want to really whip that. But yeah, just all of that. Just how the flow of combat for Pikmin looks like. When I saw that, the first thing that I the first thing that I said was, man, the tournament next year is going to be insane. Because it's no longer going to be, I have to wait 5 seconds to split up my Pikmin, then call to my blues before going into this underwater segment. It's I can disband my yellows to the other captain, who will immediately pick them up, go into the water to break something, while also at that exact same moment switching to another captain and then being able to go do something else. Which that's going to be already insane. And just with with that, or even things like mission mode, where Fortress of Festivity, I feel would be a lot easier with just the changes like that.
Yeah, something I used to do with the charging is when I had an electric gate, because electricity is useless in this game and doesn't do anything to your Pikmin, I would just charge all my Pikmin and then whistle the ones that got shot back, because it was literally faster than disbanding my yellows and charging them, or
I would actually do that too.
Yeah, or like, just throwing my yellows. It was faster to just charge all my Pikmin and whistle the other ones behind. So now that they only have like single Pikmin charges, I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah. just
Stuff like
'cause
that, they just little tiny tidbits of things that they've improved
Yeah.
with Pikmin
So
management.
yeah, the Pikmin management just looks so just crisp and clean
Yeah.
and just like
Yeah.
I was
This
honestly
might
saying
this might be like the definitive
It might be.
the most like in depth like it's been to control Pikmin as a group.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was saying it
yeah.
literally looked like they were doing competitive changes, like to increase Pikmin
The
competitive.
only thing that I think they could do to like make like Pikmin management even better in the future, and like they could have done it here, but I guess in a future game maybe a radial menu instead of having it. You know what I'm talking about? Like you know how
cycling through all the Pikmin. It's like Shulk's special in Smash. You get
Yeah,
you hold it, you get the radial thing.
I was gonna say like emotes in Overwatch, but like stuff like that, or like how you selected weapons in what was it, the Wii version of Twilight Princess or in Skyward Sword.
Yeah, or how it pauses the
Like-
game briefly and then you can
Yeah,
swap
I
between.
think I think that would be like the fastest way to like to make Pikmin management like just super easy.
Yeah.
All right.
But okay, so because I know you guys want to talk controls, I've already mentioned it. We'll save that for the end of gameplay. We'll go through gameplay, and this can go in your 4-hour discussion about that. I'm gonna skip the next point that's on our notes because that ties into the
Yeah,
controls.
gameplay.
But next thing is mini
Minimap.
map, which I mean, Kevin, you sound excited.
Minimap.
We got a minimap, boys.
Nathan, would you be
A
able to throw
minimap
the
in my
minimap-
Pikmin.
in my Pikmin? Would you be
Yeah.
able to throw the pictures with minimaps on there again?
Yeah, so-
I'll try. Yes.
So the mini map, for those of you who didn't know, is a
It's a map.
I mean, it's basically for those of you who ever played like with the non gamepad. So you basically would use like a Pro controller or the Wiimotes, or I guess that would really be the only ways you could play it without using the gamepad. The gamepad would turn into a mini map. They've added now not the exact same thing, but they've added a map-like feature to that in-game, which is a cool little circle icon. Yep, the picture's up. And it's just really crisp and clean, and it reminds me a lot of Breath of the Wild's mini-map, mostly because it's blue and circular. And it shows off like key features, like for example, if you were to land in the I'm trying to just think of a really good example. In the nope, there goes that example out of my head. Tropical Wilds. When you land at the Tropical Wilds the second time, and you have to go to the Sand Belching Mere Slug, there's an icon that shows up on the mini map that's like, oh, this is where your goal is. How do you get here?
You can even see it in Twilight River when you can kind of see the radar signal.
Yeah, the radar signal that's
Yeah.
there. And then it'll also show off Alf, Brittany, and Charlie's location. And another thing too that some folks over in the Pickcord pointed out was that the fruit, as you discover fruit on the surface, its icon shows up on the mini map. So it's not just the fruit's there all the time. You have to discover the fruit, and which also updates the mini map with just so for future, like for example, the peach that sits in the Tropical Wilds over the waterfall or in the waterfall, that'll show up, but you obviously won't be able to get that until much later. But that's just kind of the mini map, and I believe it rotates with the player's angle, so it's not locked to north, which hopefully there's an option for that, because I don't like games with spinning mini maps. But that's just me.
So also Flamsy, sorry, brought up a good point. If you go back to that Twilight River screenshot
Yeah.
that we had up, if you notice, it looks like the hint option is selected there, and it has blue arrows that are pointing to the objective.
Mm-hmm.
So that looks like one of the new hints.
Oh,
is
yeah,
the
hint sure.
feature.
thing reworked, being active.
For sure.
But
Um,
yeah, the mini map is definitely looking.
Did we talk about the zooming?
No, we did not.
No.
Okay, so I have the pictures here and ready.
With zooming.
Yes, so
Yeah.
Pikmin 3 Deluxe is much more zoomed out than Pikmin 3. And I have a side-by-side here that I took.
Ooh, I haven't even noticed that. Wait. I noticed that one like overhead shot that was like of
No,
Tropical
not like
Wilds.
that. Not that zoomed out. Oh, are we seeing
It
this
won't
going to
let
get
me.
edited live?
It won't let me zoom in, so one of them's bigger than the other. But you can kind of see
Wait,
how, like,
Can
if
I get
you,
can I get a link?
No, it's on
I got it on
the
the
video.
stream right now.
Yeah.
If you look at the Google Drive,
stream.
you can see the like map name original and P3 Deluxe. If you want to see the difference.
So if you see right here on this picture, and this isn't cropped, it looked like it might be cropped, but you can see that the light is up here. But if you look on here, you can see the top of the bridge up here and all of this stump. You can see the onion in the bottom right corner. You can see a lot of the flower pot. Whereas if in Pikmin 3 Deluxe, you can, regular Pikmin 3, it's far zoomed in. You can't see that onion. You can't see that bridge. You can only see like the very tip of this flower pot. The camera in general is very zoomed out in Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
Well,
And this
well, that confirms that this game probably is getting a resolution bump. They probably were like, well, let's scale back the draw distance instead of bumping up the resolution.
Yeah.
make it look a bit sharper.
But also, there's another reason for this is that in Pikmin 3 we had the Wii remote control. So by zooming out, it would increase the sensitivity of that controller because the controller's mapped to the screen. So now that they theoretically do not have any sort of motion control, that wouldn't really be necessary for them to be so zoomed in, so they can allow the game to be zoomed out for gameplay purposes as well.
They also made it more grassier.
Yes, if you look between these two, this is all like dirt or like dead grass, and then over here,
Yeah, they definitely
greener.
retextured a lot.
Yeah.
I wonder if another. No, that sounds really dumb. I was gonna gonna say like I wonder if like they probably have some sort of like program that they like made that just like randomly just lays texture on the ground in different ways, and that's probably what, and like it probably wasn't even intentional. That the
Oh,
graphics
like how
program, it just overlaid
Minecraft does
differently.
it.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, like they probably just have like sample textures and it just splotches it all over the ground, and so
Right.
like that's probably why it looks a little different in certain spots.
But looking at the screenshots again, I just want to bring up the it reminded me the day counter from Pikmin 3.
Oh yeah.
Based with the juice left in your inventory. So instead of the days progressed, it's displaying the days you have left.
Yep.
Which is kind of
Well, it used to show juice and the day counter, but now it only shows
Yeah.
the juice counter.
Well, I actually think that's really I actually think that's really useful because in this game, it doesn't really matter what day you're on.
Yeah.
It's cool, but I mean, I don't know. Does Pikmin 3 have any instances where after a certain point,
No.
day the
No.
spawn? No, it doesn't do that.
No.
Yeah. Also,
The closest thing it does is when Louis like breaks the cinder block.
another reason that they would remove the day counter, and this also has to do with the zoom out as well, is that we're playing this portably for the first time. So we're gonna have a tiny screen we're looking at. So we're gonna need to be able to see some stuff. You know,
Yeah,
if they
so
have,
cleaning up
we're
the
adding a
UI.
mini map in, which would take a lot of our vision, which that zoom out is also accounting for.
But yeah, and then it's just kind of just you don't really need to know what day it is in the what was it, like when you're in game, like you're at the Garden of Hope or whatever. You don't really need to know what day it is. It doesn't matter. You're on day 20 in the Garden of Hope. You still haven't saved Brittany. Like you have other things to worry about at that point. But and then sure, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's gonna get so weird to get adjusted to." I'm kind of like, really?
Yeah,
Wait,
Because-
what exactly are they referring to? That'll be weird. Just not seeing
Just
the day.
not seeing the day counter, which I'm like, really? That's okay, maybe.
Yeah, I
okay.
think that's
like
fine.
Is if it did what I was asking, and like there was after a certain day, this enemy appeared,
Yeah, but there's
not to worry
nothing like that.
and I like the days remaining. So looking after the mini map, it looks like we were going to talk about new map UI, but it looks like we also kind of covered that.
Yeah, I mean, like the new map for the new UI for the map. I think like one or two people pointed out, oh, there's a UI change with like how the numbers are displayed, but I think that might just be getting it mixed up with 251, the Pikmin mod. But yeah, I mean, people have also brought up like because they show off the pause menu at one point, but it's not really any different from what I can recall. It was in Japanese, but it literally just says go to sunset, retry day, exit
The
to
thing
main
about
menu
that
or
is
something
you're
like
looking
that.
at the menu that's on the front. The thing is about that screenshot that there's a menu in the background, and it's got like 8 or 9 buttons all spread
Oh
up.
yeah.
That's a real zinger about it.
But I don't think that those have been translated at all.
No, I don't think so. They're too blurry.
But yeah, let me just see anything else. Yeah, I mean that's kind of really it for UI and menus.
I mean,
Not really too.
They added
what's
Deluxe to
going
the
on?
intro scene.
Yeah.
Oh, I was worried about how I was gonna identify between my 2 copies of the game. Shoving my Pikmin 3 disc into my Switch.
I just thought it was funny how I just really thought it was funny how Game Explain uploaded the video that said new title screen, but literally the only difference was the fact that it said Deluxe.
Deluxe. Okay, no. Okay, to be fair, it actually, like, I just watched that whole video, and when it came up, I was like, oh, right, I should have expected that.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was watching the video, I'm like, where's the new title screen? Where's the new title screen? And I go through, it's like a 19-minute long video, and I'm like, where's the new title screen?
Man, he pranked all you.
But yeah, that's kind of it for the new UI. So this next part is going to be something that's just really interesting. I'm going to go slightly out of order than how it is on the script. Oh, someone has joined us.
Hello.
Hello, Gordon.
One-liner.
Oh my god, it's Brandon.
Brandon.
God, talk about a surprise character reveal.
He's gonna help me, Oliver.
But what's up, Brandon? We're live.
Yeah, we are.
I thought that was funny too. It's a new title screen.
Yeah, but so this one's very interesting. We mentioned it before. All the obstacles, like the dirt walls, glass, crystal walls, and the electric walls, seem to have different markings and indications. Nathan, if you want to bring up the images at the end, there should be 3 that kind of have the 2 dirt walls with different markings, and then one with the crystal wall with like rust.
Yeah, so I can go a little bit into this because I've been talking to shout out to Griffco in Pikcord because he's been like dedicating every moment of his life to analyzing everything in the trailers. And so we have identified like 7 different dirt wall patterns. Some people say 9 because there's like a W pattern and an M pattern, but then it's also like, could those just be a zigzag pattern? There have been 3 different glass walls, and then at least 2 different electric gates.
Freaking stained glass.
I think I have pictures of some
so
of them.
like, yeah, so in the case of like the dirt walls, for example, there'll be 2 lines, 1 line, 3 lines, X's. Like a diamond shape,
Dude,
zigzag.
I swear to God, like, for some reason, when you said like a new glass wall, my brain just deactivated, and I was like, "Is it just like the new Minecraft glass texture?"
Do you think have we seen any new like
Shaders
bombable
on, bro.
walls?
Shaders.
I don't even
I
remember.
don't think we've seen any reinforced walls in any gameplay yet. I think we've only
No.
seen. Yeah, we saw the glass gate, which has like a new texture, where like the sides are kind of rusted up.
No, we saw one bombable wall in the overshoot of the Tropical Wilds.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, but it looked the same.
I was about to say, well, did it look any different? No, shut up.
I was just wondering if like there's a difference between them. Like it could be that's the one that looks the same, and then the other ones have X's or something. Or
Yeah. For the case of rusted, or for the glass walls, I believe the difference is that there's the metal. There's one that looks like the one that we're used to, and then there is the fully rusted one, which I say looks like a graham cracker. I'm personally not a fan of it, but I'm not.
well, it is a very JPEG-y picture screenshot.
Yeah.
So maybe it's better.
I think there's one where it's only half rusted. So there is still that, and then the electric gates. From what I remember, there's the standard electric gate, and then there's an electric gate with like a black, like just a strip of black electric tape going over the top of the pillars.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
So yeah, it was shown for like briefly in one of the trailers. So I mean, that's definitely something that is just interesting that they're pointing out. the assumption is that there's no variation in bamboo walls because they're not really destroyable walls. They're ones that you just pick up and move.
Yeah.
So it is it's so those are a bit different. We haven't really seen any variation of those, especially because the one bamboo gate that we've seen is it is kind of really more, it's the one that leads up to the shaggy longlegs in the distant tundra. So that's a very secondary gate compared to others, and the fact that it's using just the default visual could easily just mean that they're not really using it because it's not really an important gate that you think about. So
Yeah.
we don't have any official confirmation on why they did this change. I personally think it's going to be used for co-op to kind of tell your partner, hey, meet me by the 3-striped dirt wall, or basically to use it as landmark identification to tell.
Yeah.
I mean,
meet
the
you by
only
one
the
that
only
has
problem
red.
the only problem with that theory is that you're playing split screen, so you can just look at their screen.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of nice than having to say, oh, meet me by, or, you know, go to that area.
Come over here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go,
it's true.
Go all of the way
I-
and let
I
like,
don't
the
care.
number on it. Like this has the number like on.
yeah, I remember Scruffy mentioned that it could just be similar to how there's never an area that has bridges that are the same color. You'll either have a blue bridge, a red bridge, and a yellow bridge. Like you won't really have 3 red bridges in one area.
Yeah.
So it could be just kind of the same idea where it's just really more kind of maybe not even for co-op, just more of a like, oh yeah, this landmark kind of thing, because it's not the wall itself, it's the pillars. So even if you destroy the wall, the pillars are still there. So it's really more of just a landmark in general. So it's like, oh, how do I get to the armored Modat? Or
Oh, you take a left at the 3 stripes.
Yeah,
yeah, you take a left at
Yeah.
the go over the red bridge.
Landmarks for yourself, yeah.
So
to not
and
lose your
just
pace.
it being useful for co-op is kind of more of like a bonus. Like you can then just be like, oh hey, Kevin, can you head down to start working on the blue bridge and then go over to the X dirt wall and start breaking that down?
Oh yeah, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I imagine that's how you talk in like real life too, like when you're outside the internet.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, guys, you weren't supposed to find out. This is my real voice.
I totally said that.
It's been a facade this whole time. I've been speaking like some kid who lives in a basement.
Why they didn't hire me as the announcer?
But yeah, so that's kind of the big thing, and this also ties into our next note, which is textures being changed, which we already kind of covered a little bit. A lot of areas have had their textures changed
Or
to
just
be-
reworked.
or reworked. Like
There's some
The big
modeling
thing-
difference as well.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, the big difference in at least textures is across the Twilight River to where like that cave is kind of area. Like it's all green and like lush
Yeah.
and grassy. Whereas before in Pikmin 3, it was all autumn, fall themed. So it was very red and orange. Whereas, you know, this one is now it's like it's a big contrast as opposed to, you know, oh, the Twilight Forest is the fall level. The Twilight Forest is now the river with a fall part and grass. Like there's grass there. So a lot of texture has been changed. I think you actually the 2 pictures that you have up, Nathan,
Yeah.
of the Garden of Hope, even that is just a perfect example between the 2 of them. Like if you were to just hold one up for a couple seconds and then hold up the next one, you'd be able to see like the bottom of the pools seem almost like it's probably just like a generic grass texture, but looks more like algae-y. Some areas are more oh yeah, those are the gates and everything. Like I saw some people pointing out that more water areas look like they have mud at the bottom in the Garden of Hope, to better tie in the Meyerklops area. But yeah, like here, yeah, the Garden of Hope picture. Go back to the other one, real quick.
I'm at the Garden of Hope right now.
Garden.
You got to remember that the
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
the stream is delayed.
I put a couple of pictures in chill chat, by the way.
But yeah, so there is a big difference. I know that a lot of people were pointing out that in that over shot of the what is it called? The tropical wilds. A lot of the area before was just kind of sand, and there's more grass to it now. So it's not just, oh, this is like a tropical beach or something. It's now, oh, this is in the middle of a tropical area.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Here's
mean,
the ice
more-
rail. That's interesting.
oh yeah, that's a new one too. Is the
I
ice
want to know
rail?
I want to know what the purpose of that is. It just seems so weirdly out of place.
Isn't that the route where you push the boulder?
No.
No, no, that's along the path where like the swooping snitch bug is, and you're supposed to like, well, like it's like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like it's like slightly to the right of the path, like where you have to meet up with Alf after you get out of the cave.
No, it's the part where you throw the Pikmin over to Alf.
Yeah, I'm looking at the
Hold
mini
on.
map right now.
Yeah,
But
the
yeah, I
technical
wonder what that
thing
is.
does direct you to. Oh, here's where
Yeah,
you throw
I mean, it might just be like
It-
just a line
No,
on the
it
floor.
could be that's when Brittany pushes the boulder out of the cave, and it
Possibly.
rolls. We never see where it rolls out and ends up. That's what it could be. It could be that that's the path that
Wow.
boulder, that the ball rolls down.
Details.
Oh, I see the electrical tape on the electric gate there on the left.
Yeah, that's I believe the one that we've seen twice with the straight line going down.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, so they've retextured a lot of stuff, which is just interesting to see. It's weird seeing it in just snapshots and not seeing what it like why it's there. Some people have said it's so that it's more environmental telling of like, oh, this is where you're supposed to go. I've seen some people say it's so that it just makes the area look more natural instead of it being like, oh, it's by water, that by default means there's sand. It's like, oh no, there could be grass growing by water, but we really don't know. It just looks cool.
Yeah.
So, but let's just see what's next. I mean, there's also been some just slight area changes with geometry. What is this thing I keep hearing about egg placement? I've
There's
seen
more
everyone freaking
eggs.
out over it. Yeah, more eggs.
More egg.
It's
Yeah.
just
I didn't
the
know that was a
highlight of the
problem.
whole game. There's more. Actually, no. I
Well,
got this out of the problem.
it's-
You don't even see eggs until you get to like halfway through the game.
I hope that the eggs are only there in easy mode.
Well,
Yeah.
Playing stuff to do. Say, hey, you know where any eggs are?
Okay. I hope that the eggs are there more often if Pikmin can lose their flowers again.
I hope
Yeah.
so. I hope
wonder
we
if
can
that
bring back Withering.
Talking about itself.
Yeah.
Give buds. Bring back buds.
All I can
buds are so
think of is all I can think of is the pro. Have you guys know the? I guess he was originally on. What was it? The one before TikTok. Oh
Vine?
god. Yeah, on Vine.
Fine.
He was the guy. He became like a pretty big voice actor. Pro Z or Pro Z.
Oh, Pro ZD.
One of my
He's in,
favorite things he's ever done is what was it? He has a sketch where it's like when the gameplay is really good, but then you have to do a really annoying side quest, and it's just like, oh man, this gunplay is really good. Now it's time for the egg quest. Can you find all 80 eggs? And he's like, do I have to keep doing this? No, it's mandatory
egg.
story progression. And then it's just like, oh, I'm so glad I did that. Now I have to do that again. Now it's the egg quest time again. Is the dude's like screaming, get ready for the mandatory driving section. That's all I can think of now with these extra
So
eggs
back
is
down.
this it's egg quest. You have to find all 80 eggs scattered throughout
You
PNF.
find the
404.
eggs. Like the Augie, like on Roblox. Fucking
But
fuck.
yeah, so there's the eggs, and then what is the section that we've seen that has the different geometry?
There have been some areas of the
Twilight River.
The Twilight River that look a lot different. And like I said, there's an area that looks like it's been completely like retextured, or like not retextured, like they try to like pretty it up, but like just like they change like the ground.
Oh yeah, the grass. So
Here,
it's
I
a
have
grassy
a
area.
Also, I don't remember if we said it already, but in addition to egg placement, there's also new note placement, like for the Explorer notes.
Oh yeah. There's like the 2 notes in the Armored Mod Ads arena and all of that.
Yeah.
I have a side by side
Found the
of
rest of the
Pikmin 3
pages.
and Pikmin 3 Deluxe in the tropical wild or the Twilight River as well, and you can see that the model, the land model, is a little bit different around the bridge area.
Okay, I'm waiting for the picture to pop. Oh, I guess I could just check the drive, can't I?
Yeah,
Oh, no, yours isn't up on
someone
the drive, isn't it?
someone should totally just make like side-by-side comparisons of all like the things that are different.
Yeah.
Where is Game Explain and his analysis machine?
All right. Well, while you're bringing that on,
One analysis, one picture on one analysis, on one picture.
analysis, one picture. So we talked about the online play and the confusion with that. I say we did do the completely reworked pigment management. We can save that for gameplay stuff. Same with the lock-on feature. We'll come back to that. I say we move on to Return to Picklepedia.
Okay.
Actually,
What were we talking about
actually,
there?
I might have to like depart like halfway through because I need to go pick my girlfriend up from work. So can we talk about the controls first?
Yeah,
So
I think, because we've kind of talked about everything else. So to tie into this, this is something that was pointed out again when I said it was like 2 out of 300 videos, where some of the new movement. And again, I posted the videos in our Discord. I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw it, where it was. Let me just double check them real quick, because it was the video of, oh god, where'd I put him? It was where they're getting the orange.
Orange
They're gathering the orange. How the cursor moved when Alf turned around looked like, because I was looking at Pikmin 2 footage, because I wasn't going to boot up Pikmin 2 just to be like tested side by side. It looked like similarly, but it was just for a brief moment, so I don't really think that counts as definitive proof. The other video was the one where this one was just kind of weird, because it's the one where it's showing the Pikmin taking the bulb orb back to the onion. The cursor is like really, really, really far away from the captain. So I'm wondering if it's like, and I'm not saying like, oh, this confirms it's the Wii motion control. It's like, it's just something interesting to point out that it just points out the cursor's further away than like what we have seen in other videos. But I know that Luther and Nathan really want to go at this.
Well, like it's not so much like something that is just like I'm just like, oh yeah, I need to tell everybody that's wrong. No, it's just like here. No, like I was just gonna say, okay, so like a lot of people start like every time someone brings up like the whole motion controls versus like analog stick controls, like traditional controls, there's always like a debate about that. So like you can talk about all night and day about like which ones are superior, but the one thing that I hope everyone in here agrees with is that Pikmin 3's analog controls were garbage.
Yes.
Like Pikmin Pikmin 1 and 2 were fine. Like I like they were built for it, so I guess they probably like objectively work better than they did for like the controls that came like 9 years later.
Yeah.
But like Pikmin 3 is a game that was designed with motion controls, and you can tell just by like how like not very like optimal like controlling with the analog sticks is. And one thing that really hurts the experience probably more than anything, I'd say, is just the fact that unlike in Pikmin 1 and 2 on the GameCube, where Olimar and like the cursor moved independently from one another, the cursor is always put. Actually, no, it's the other way around. The captain is forced to always be facing where the cursor is. So when you're controlling the game, it's really more like you're controlling the cursor because it's always in front of the captain. And because of how far away it's placed in Pikmin 3 compared to Pikmin 1 and 2, like turning around is kind of clunky because like if you play with the analog sticks, it takes like a while to turn around like your character. And also the fact that you have to stand still if you want to aim, but without moving too much. Yeah, because like it's too far away and stuff like that. And see, I was really hoping they would fix that, especially like because there's like a big likelihood that we won't have motion controls at all this time. But it looks like they didn't quite do that. Like
At
then
least
again,
with what they've shown off, because I just kind of want to add this note. Like I don't want people to be like watching this and be like, oh my god, they've confirmed no motion controls, because they haven't. It's just going off of what we have seen of 3 Deluxe. They haven't shown anything that really resembles motion controls.
yeah.
So, and I know that people like to say, oh, World of Goo is an example that the Switch can't handle motion controls well. But then I also see people say Captain Toad is a good analysis of how
it's not. It's okay. So what I would say is that the problem between gyroscopes and the Wii Motion Plus is that the Wii Motion, the Wii Motion Plus, The Wii Motion Plus has a fixed point. It has that sensor that it can always reconfigure to, whereas gyroscopes do get out of sync. And there's no fixing that. You have to press a button to resync the gyroscopes just because they can't keep track of it perfectly, whereas the Wii Remote can because it always has those fixed lights that it can look back at.
Doesn't the I'm checking my Joy-Cons right now. Don't they have the set point? Yeah, the right Joy-Con.
Yeah,
has
that has
the-
the infrared sensor.
it has the infrared
that's
sensor
all
on
I
it.
thought. Yeah.
See, like that's
Yeah,
actually
on the
why I was
bottom.
Like,
yeah, and like it doesn't work very well, like given like what the Switch does, like and what the Wii did differently. But I think that it's something that at the very least, like I hope that they'll at least like have it there for people that want to use it. Like if somebody just wants to experiment around with it.
The infrared on the bottom of the Joy-Con isn't going to help you unless you want to hold the Joy-Con upside down.
Well, that's how you're supposed to play. You're supposed to play with a mirror set up in front of you and the
Oh my
game
God.
behind you, and you aim at it like you have to do it all backwards.
That
like
reminds
it's a
me.
Breath of the Wild puzzle.
That reminds me when Nintendo told us to tie our Wii remotes to our Pro controllers with a piece of
my
string
God.
for Splatoon.
That's the thing.
That was like the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen.
I know.
Like an actual like I want to know the PR team like guy who like thought of that, and I have to know if he was fired.
Trust me, no one's gonna do it.
Hey, it'll fill you with a sense of pride and joy.
What if that's like actually like the best way to play Splatoon? Like Nintendo actually like Nintendo employees do that because it's the most superior way to play Splatoon, and everyone sleeps on it because it's just so like
Gotta
stupid.
bring it back and like make a Splatoon 1 for it.
Yeah.
Good
But-
God.
Anyway, here's my issue. Pikmin 3 was built around motion controls, but there is something very important that comes with that. In Pikmin 3, it is the only game, before Deluxe, that you
I
can.
swear to God, I thought you were about to segue into an ad, and I was like, wait a minute, we don't have. Like the way you worded that.
Raid Shadow Legends is a.
This video is sponsored by.
Honey is an amazing way. But,
So-
you're saying, Ethan?
Pikmin 3 is the only game where you can walk in a direction and then continue walking in that direction and hit a Pikmin on something behind you.
Actually, you can do that in the Wii versions of Pikmin 1 and 2, but I agree. I understand what you mean.
Yeah, I guess you kind of can, but it's a bit different.
It's harder to do. Yeah, it's harder to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they actually demonstrated that. It was one of the first things they demonstrated about Pikmin 3, because that's actually what the person that was playing during that footage where we see like the boss bat for the first time, and when they're in that really dark cave with the bull bear, he's running away and throwing rock Pikmin at its eyes while he's running away.
So the gamepad controls in Pikmin 3, obviously you could not do that.
What's
Yeah.
a game
So,
pad?
so in Deluxe, they have added this lock-on feature that now allows you to do that with gamepad controls, because you can lock onto entities that are behind you and still throw Pikmin while walking in a direction, and it doesn't change your camera or anything.
Wasn't that what the lock-on feature did in 3 originally?
No.
Yeah, it was.
When you lock on to something in Pikmin 3, your entire camera position changes to face
yeah,
it.
The camera
Like,
changes,
Does
but
does a full 360.
It's basically like Z targeting.
You can't do a drive-by, is what I'm saying. You can't just walk by it, throw a Pikmin, and be done.
Yeah.
I see.
You're gonna have to either stop to line up, or you're gonna have to have like the aim assist turned up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's assuming that that's even something that you can do. But I have a feeling that it is. I have a feeling it is. And
No, they had video of that.
Well, no, I'm talking about like a scalable aim assist. That's
Oh.
what I was referring to. Yeah, but going back to that, that's another thing that might actually be part of the easier difficulty, because that was in the. Someone noticed that in the video where you saw like the enemies look like they had less health, and the curse the whistle like grew really big really fast.
Well-
they also like it's possible that the
Probably like more countdown time or something. By the
I
end of it.
really don't
know
think that they're
about that.
going to remove it from the harder difficulties, and the reason is because it's going to limit your availability on your actual actions that you can do.
well no I don't think that it'll be limited. I think that the range at which it auto snaps to a target will probably just be bigger on easier difficulties.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe. Yeah, I could see that happening.
More
And
aim
I remember seeing. I don't know if I should say. I get Tommy. Everyone knows who Tommy is on because he's been on Pikcast before.
Do you mean Yamat 392?
Yeah, Yamat
Yeah,
392
there's no such thing
on
as
YouTube.
Tommy, it's just Yamat.
But was it?
Nah, man, you're talking about that Pokemon that evolves into Koff Rodriguez.
God. What was it? Because I remember he was saying that he was actually really happy to see that the lock-on wasn't as intrusive, where it turns the camera around.
Yeah.
And again, I think I don't know if you mentioned it here yet, but I remember we were talking about it earlier before we went live. Was the whole thing with how it would make things easier.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here and I'm like, it can make things easier, but I feel that's one of those things where you do kind of have to practice being able to work with that.
Yeah.
Because it's because I'm going to use Monster Hunter as a reference because that's the only other game I play besides Pikmin, was when they added the clutch claw to Monster Hunter, everyone's like, oh, this is such an easy thing to do. But then also are the same people who complain about how hard it is to pull off. Because in theory, on paper, it is easy to do. And it's like, oh yeah, that makes things significantly easier. But then it's in actual practice, how easy will that actually be?
Yeah.
If it's
easy to do, but it's easy to execute.
Yeah, if it and then there's
for
also
you
the
to
whole
do?
thing where if it's if there's people like us who are diehard Pikmin fans who we play everything, we do crazy speed runs and
Speed run
everything.
the game for fun every day.
Yeah. And as opposed to, let's just say, if this is someone's first ever Pikmin experience, is that something that's going to be easy to pull off? They see, us do that during a tournament and they're like, how do I do that? That's such an insane play. It's like how we say Pikmin 3 is super easy, but then it's also there were plenty of people that when Pikmin 3 came out were saying that Pikmin 3 was super hard.
Yeah.
Because there's also then the whole case
Yeah,
of
I
There's
remember.
a curve.
I
There's a curve.
remember.
Yeah.
I remember early on there, I was having trouble with Pikmin 3. Granted, we all pretty much picked it up really fast. But I remember, I remember the first time I fought the Samuelson Mearslug, I was like, dude, those rocks have such hard ass accuracy.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where there's so many external factors, like who's playing, who's what is the specific action? Because if it's if you're fighting Scutter Chucks and you do a drive-by with rocks, it's yeah, of course that's gonna be super easy. There's Scutter Chucks. But if it's something it's a bull, the example where the guy was attacking the bull bear while running away, is that really going to be as easy as just how how the player makes it look? Because it's if let's just say there's a lot again, you're being chased by a bull bear and you're running away, locking on. How easy is that really going? How effective will that actually be? It's yeah, you're attacking the eyes, you're slowing it down, but if you're actually fighting it, is that something that's really going to be good? It's even just going on this, because I was just sitting here just thinking about your worries with the how it's just how the lock on will change things, and thinking about it, it seems more like a good for if you're in passing, but it's not good. It's not going to be the best for you're dedicated to, if you're sitting there to fight a bug-eyed Crawmad, it's probably going to be better to be able to just kind of free move and attack just using the cursor as opposed to being locked on, because it could just change things, especially if you're at a specific angle or something. And there could be a change of angle kind of thing. Just
I am
thinking about
two things. One, speaking of first playthroughs or first playing Pikmin 3, I remember the first day that had a sunset. Right as the counter hit 0, I put my.
You accidentally
I did the same thing. Yep.
You're not a real Pikmin player if you haven't done that.
Just reminded me of that. But two, do we know what the right thumbstick is going to do?
We don't know what any of the controls do.
I'm wondering, do we know what it did in the gamepad mode of Pikmin 3?
It made cool Pikmin sounds.
Nobody knows because nobody even played.
Actually, I'm actually not sure if the right thumbstick even had a use. I think it didn't have a use on purpose because there was like a right-handed and left-handed play option because otherwise you're just supposed to use the touchscreen.
Because I remember, what was it? Scruffy.
I could be wrong
I
about
think
that, though.
Scruffy's left-handed, and he used gamepad to play.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, so I don't think there had to have been a stick click.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I'm wondering if they're gonna make it some kind of hybrid of aiming with kind of you walk with the left joystick and you aim with the right joystick.
That would be something I would like.
That way you could still run away while kind of throwing behind you.
But how are you gonna
sounds
press
like
the
it's
A
gonna be
button?
difficult.
You gotta
Oh,
claw
you
grip
haven't-
it.
You haven't done the.
I was about to say you got a claw grip like Monster Hunter.
I mean, that would be cool, but I don't think that's
See, that's where the advanced.
that's not the
game
easy
hard
stuff that
strategy.
they've been adding, you know.
The Pikmin hard trap finally involved the claw grip strategy.
No, they're finally
We've
making
hit the
it
meta.
into an action game. They're switching the throw button from A to the trigger.
Oh, actually, no. If they were to
it's
switch
haptic
like
feedback.
throwing to the trigger, that would actually, I kind of would prefer that. Just a little bit, just being able to
I
just.
feel like I
Michael,
wouldn't be
this
able
is
to
what
do
I
it.
call a pro gamer move.
I don't feel like I would be able to spam it as fast.
Yeah, I'm very confident with my finger flicking than I am with my thumb slamming. Just because
I
I'm
just
starting to see it.
imagine you like cocking your finger with your thumb and flicking the A button.
Now I'm going beyond saying.
I shifted the maximum overdrive.
He accidentally gives his Switch the
Maximum
whooshy finger
spice
hold.
speed.
Yeah, I delete my Switch by accident.
It's like an Animal Crossing. Like, oops, there goes my twist switch. It's just like you're using your Switch and it just like poofs into nothing. Like, oops, that does it for my trusty
I just get to bop it. Like, especially you guys know bop it, like the twisted part. I just get one of those, and I just get to flick it attached to my like Joy-Con, and I'm just like flicking it just with my finger, just spam throwing it.
See, Bop It
Yeah,
is the
you-
kind of controls
play
I hope
Bop
to
It when
see
you're
in Pikmin
sleeping
3.
about.
Also, I just wanted to say this real quick because it was something that somebody brought up really early on. Like my mic cut out and then it came back. Oh, it was Kevin. He was talking about how this is the biggest audience that Pikmin has ever had the potential to be exposed to, because this is like the most successful console that a Pikmin game has been on.
Mm-hmm.
And something that I think he was talking about how much the Switch has sold. Like it seems like something that not a lot of people realize, but the Switch has literally outsold the Xbox One. Like a console that came out 3 years before.
It's the
has
second.
officially been
It's the
outsold.
second best-selling Nintendo console.
Yeah.
And it's the second fastest selling console of all time. Not the most selling, that's the PS2. But it's the second. Like it just recently, I think, passed, what was it, 60 million units?
It could surpass the PS2.
And it's a
62
yeah,
million.
it's about to. I think that officially puts it past the NES and the Super NES.
Some perspectives I've been thinking about. The Switch has sold more than the Wii U and the GameCube put together and doubled.
Yeah, exactly. And
And
these
the
are people
Virtual
that.
Boy.
Proud owner of the Virtual Boy.
Okay, I never owned one, but I wouldn't be against trying it out. But yeah, like I was saying though, like this is the biggest audience that Pikmin could ever be on, so this can only be a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, like it might not be a Pikmin 4 like a lot of people might have wanted, but this is definitely like the next best possible
Another
thing.
This is
thing.
the gateway drug into
Yeah.
Pikmin 4.
Yeah.
Another thing too that I want, because you were saying like, because Pikmin was on the Wii, but Pikmin on the Wii was late into the Wii's lifetime,
Yeah.
and on top of that, Pikmin 1 Wii.
Oh, and they also
weird,
received zero advertising.
Yeah, they got no advertising.
I don't
Pikmin
think-
1 on the Wii had really weird kind of like.
I don't think I've
audio
ever told
issues.
you guys this. I don't
Oh.
think I've ever told you guys
Didn't
this.
it use the same trailer, but it changed the GameCube at the end to Wii or something like?
Wait, what?
Like, didn't it use? I don't know. I was thinking like something. It could have just used like the same trailer, just like
It-
GameCube. With you.
It's possible. Oh no. They did use a different one, I think.
What were you saying, Luther?
Never told us.
I think he died.
Oh.
Oh.
Now we never
Oh
will.
no! Sorry, I muted myself. I gotta go. If it's important, I'll write it down or something, and y'all
Okay.
can say it.
All right.
All right. See you, Luther.
Have a good one, Luther.
All right, I'll be back later, y'all. Have
So
fun.
like what I was saying too with like because like again the Wii versions never had any like high sales or anything like or not high sales but they weren't advertised. Pikmin 1 on the Wii was kind of buggy in a
Yeah,
lot of
it was
stuff
buggy.
too.
Pikmin 2 New Play Control didn't even come out in North America until it was re-released as a Nintendo
2012.
Select.
Like wasn't it 2012?
Yeah, it was really late.
it was as
Yeah.
a Nintendo Select. It didn't even get a normal release.
Yeah,
in
and
North America.
so
Oh yeah.
so basically now
That's
Pikmin 3 is
confusing, like-
now actually like it's only been 3 years since the Switch's release. It's coming after it's coming after what was it? What came there was Origami King, which is the second best selling game on the eShop. What was did Xenoblade 1 come out yet?
Yeah.
Is it out? Okay, so then it's after Xenoblade Chronicles as well. So there
Animal
isn't even
Crossing is fucking, pardon my language, sold crazy well.
Yeah.
It's all over like 22
hold on.
million copies.
There's another thing. Animal Crossing has sold more copies than the entirety of the Metroid Prime series. No, the entirety of the Metroid series, actually.
jeez.
Wow.
Just that one game alone has sold more than every Metroid game put
Holy
together.
cow.
No, but what I'm saying is that there aren't any titles that can interrupt
Yeah.
Pikmin 3's release.
I see,
Yeah.
I see, yeah.
The
Nothing else in that-
only
yeah,
thing
top-
that I can see coming out on Switch that could interfere, which even then I'd be significantly doubtful, is there's rumors of a Monster Hunter game being released on Switch, and after the last one sold 15 million units. If there was to be one on the Switch, I would obviously outsell, but even then, I don't think that there would even be a release for it. Like that's the only game that I can think of that has a rumor with like for like a recent date
Yeah.
that could cause an interference with Pikmin 3. So like nothing right now can interfere with Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Like there's no Kirby game coming out, there's no Mario game coming out, no Zelda. Literally it is hey
Pikmin only.
Pikmin is
Hey,
going to
Pikmin.
be the game of October. Yeah, hey Pikmin 2 gets released.
All right, so let's move on because we gotta.
That's
gotta
what I was
finish
about to
up.
say. It's
Yeah,
like,
we
it
should
felt-
probably move along with
it
that.
felt
But
like for a long time that they were just paying attention to Mario and Zelda. It's like,
yeah,
Mhm.
and so
did.
this one they're really kind of just
It's very
focusing
nice
on
to see.
something else. Yeah. Okay.
All right, so Picklepedia.
Yes. Pickle. Ooh.
It
but,
was-
Momentarily lost
Picklepedia.
Kyle.
I'm
Okay.
so glad that they're bringing them back. I can't wait to read just info on all the new enemies
Yeah.
that haven't had anything on them.
I can't wait to read recipes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
So my expectation is that Alf's is going to be basically this is how you fight the enemy, because the one that we have of English of the red Bulborb, spotty Bulborb, whatever you want to call it, Bulborb, is he talks about how the eyes are stupidly big and they don't make any sense because they're such a weak point, and that its big red butt is like super obvious, and he's confused about how these creatures can survive with such tiny legs, which is the eyes are a weak spot, its back is a weak spot, and it trips a lot if you can get your Pikmin to move properly. So that's just what we've seen.
He's an
Alpha and
engineer, so it makes sense that he would
that
look at the
he
things
analyzes the
analytically like that.
engineering. So my expectation is Alf is going to be out, the
Battle
quote unquote
strategies.
structural like safety of a bulb of the enemies and talk about this is their weak points. Brittany is going to probably talk about how they interact with the environment because she's a botanist. Charlie, I imagine, is going to be talking about either something to make up like, oh, this is this great epic fight we had, or compare it to maybe he'll be talking about attack patterns like, oh, this thing has a vicious bite that we should avoid at all costs or something. Olimar would be kind of his traditional like,
Scientific
oh yeah,
analysis.
either that or he'll talk about his home or something like, oh yeah, today I encountered this red Bulborb again. It makes me wonder if I'll see my family after this adventure because it's always such a close shave. And then Louis will be
Cooking.
recipes, hopefully. But the fact that there's 5 notes is like insane for all the enemies because excuse me, did not mean to burp without meaning. Just because like
oh my God.
there's just because that's so much writing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like if it was one thing, it's just the main three, I'd been like, okay, yeah, because then that would just be Olimar's notes, Louis' notes, and the ship pods. No, it's 5 people.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And there were people who were talking about how Pikmin 3 had like no enemies. I did the math on it. Pikmin 2 only has 10 enemies more than Pikmin 3.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a small amount. It's not like 20 enemies with 5 entries. There would be, I think it was like
It's 53 enemies times 5 is 265 entries.
Yeah. So
That's a lot.
yeah, so that's a lot to it. And then plus it also looks like the Piklopedia doesn't have pick carrots this time. It has actual Pikmin, which I think is really good because you can use that as an actual testing ground to see what's the best solution to fight these.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, it is a surprise for sure, but a welcome one.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So, and then the next thing that's on our list is one that I'm super excited for, which is achievements.
Achievements. Can we get the badge on screen?
Yes, because it looks so nice. It's just such a nice looking icon. It's my Discord icon right now. It looks so good because I love collecting achievements and trophies and everything.
I put a fitting image in the Pikcast chat.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, the Piklopedia, and yeah, just because, and I know a lot of people's concerns. Like I know Joe, he was on other Pikcasts and he's at the tournament. A couple people's concerns were that it's just you get these for progressing along the story. Like there's 20 achievements and all of it's find red Pikmin, find Brittany, beat the sand belching mirror slut. But the fact that like the one that they showed off was analyze 10 enemies in the Piklopedia tells me that there's at least going to be achievements for collecting fruit, enemies, data files, maybe even finding specific key locations,
The hidden message, the hidden drawings or something,
Yeah, it may be finding hidden drawing, all of this stuff. So it's not going to be just progressing the story mode.
Yeah.
Now there have been people who are like, well, what about getting platinum on everything in mission mode?
Flamsy sorry if I mispronounced your name, just said in chat that there's an all Pikmin types achieved badge on the back of the box.
Excuse me? Where's the Pikmin 3 Deluxe?
Apparently it's on the back of the box.
Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
I haven't heard of that. That's news to me.
Back of... Alright, I need to see this. I love these achievements. They look so good. No, this is the front of the box. Google, you failed me for the last time. Oh, wait, hold on. Is that the back of the box?
Let me know if you find it.
It is such a faraway image. I do see something. It's super faint. It's at least a new icon. It's like really hard to see here. Hold on. Where's Discord? I'm gonna post it in the Pikcast chat. It's on the very right is the back of the box. The middle icon is new.
We have a better picture than that somewhere.
Oh, well, I know I couldn't find it. This is just quick off of Google. It looks like a red, yellow, and blue Pikmin all around a drake paw. Or no, what is it? The sparrow. All gathered around a sparrow.
Yeah.
But okay, we can look into this later on, just because we are going on a little bit long.
Yeah, we're nearing 2 hours. So
yeah. So
I think this is the last topic.
Oh yeah.
Side stories.
Yes. Which really kind of threw everyone for a loop. We weren't expecting that.
I mean, this is a port.
Yeah.
But we're getting a bunch of new stuff.
Aside from all the DLC they got added.
Oh no.
I mean, it's a prologue and an epilogue. I feel like we shouldn't hype up the side stories too much because we know absolutely nothing about them except for it's prologue and epilogue, stars Olimar and Louis, and the first one is called Olimar's Assignment.
And that's all we know.
And it has its own menu. All we know.
We don't know the length. We don't know what it consists of. We can only theorize.
But it's definitely going to be some sort of lore. And we mentioned it earlier about how like we kind of can get an idea of what the prologue might be, unless they retcon stuff based off of Olimar's data files and the Olimar videos from getting the secret numbers. But we really don't know what they could consist of, just because they're just because they haven't been touched on. I'm hoping they'll talk about at least Olimar's assignments so we can get an idea of how they work before the release.
Yeah.
Sure, because the Japanese side has a couple of coming soon blurbs. And one of them is about the side stories.
So I'm curious, but I am not like, oh, this is gonna be the greatest thing ever. I'm like, it exists. What is it?
There, yeah. It's there.
Yeah.
But
All right. Do we have anything else left to talk about?
no.
Yeah,
I
we went
mean,
over all the misc info, all that stuff. We can talk about another time.
hopefully we can, in a future Pikcast, I feel like we can just publicly share this because it's not set in stone or anything. This is just stuff that we've been wanting to do. Having a Pikcast talking about Pikmin 2 modding, just because that
There's been
is
a lot
big
of activity.
Deal. Yeah, there's a lot of activity.
All these things about the classic caverns. and
Maybe we
whatnot.
could have a special
a
guest
lot of
on for
stuff.
that episode. Bring on one of
Yeah, that'd
the
be
hackers
cool.
or something.
And then also we're expecting, or at least I'm expecting, I don't want to speak on everyone's behalf, that
Congratulations.
before October we're going to be seeing new Pikmin 3 Deluxe information. So we might do at least one more Pikcast before 3 Deluxe comes out, and then we'll do a Pikcast after it comes out, kind of showcasing, our review of it and everything. So that's just kind of to expect in the next 2 months, because the fact that there's Pikmin game means that, hey, we should probably do our Pikcast more.
Yeah.
Since this is now over a year since our last one. So that's just something to keep in mind. So just because, oh yeah, that's a really nice looking badge. I really like that. That looks
Show me
I
your
like
badge.
it. Anyway, we need to we need to wrap up. We're going on long, but yeah,
Look for that in the future.
Pikmin 3 Deluxe is out. We basically talked about everything there is to talk about.
Join Pickcord.
Yeah, join Pikcord if you want to, there is a big community. The day that Pikmin 3 Deluxe actually was announced, within the first hour, there were, I think, 35 people that joined the Pikcord. And since then, I know it's been a steady increase. I don't want to say for sure. I think I saw someone say there's been 200 new members there alone. So yeah, if you ever want to talk Pikmin, if there is another big drop, come and check out, go to Pikcord, because why not? What's stopping you? Yay!
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody coming out.
Yeah. Oh wait, we have to do the traditional ending.
We do, of course.
So,
God,
and with that,
I've done it before.
captains dismissed.
Alright, I'm going to eat my dinner now.
Yummy.
I gotta text my mom.
I'm going to in depression.
Hello, Gordon.
Hello, Gordon.
Hello,
Look, Gordon, ropes. We can use these to help with Gordon. Help!